Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mcubed Show about all things fantasy sci-fi. As always, I'm your host, Schmerold. Now, this week, we don't have a whole lot to talk about, but there is some news. So for starters, we're officially in the 1-year countdown to Amazon's Lord of the Rings show, which I'm super excited for. We also have a new show coming out somewhat soon. If y'all want me to review that, I'd be really looking forward to that. It's called Why the Last Man or something like that, or it's just The Last Man. It's based off this comic book series. It's an FX exclusive series, and it looks pretty neat. It's what if all the men died out in this world, and there's only one man left, and I'd be curious to see how that plays out. So if you want me to review that, I'm probably gonna watch that, so I might review that. In other news, some critics have finally been able to see Dune, and a lot of people are saying this could be a generational type of franchise, like how Lord of the Rings was. A lot of people are comparing it to the science fiction Lord of the Rings, which that gets me really pumped. That comes out really soon. And I feel like that's a movie that everyone has to go see on the big screen. And of course, I'm happy to know that the movie industry is not dying, or the theater industry, because Shang-Chi just came out over the weekend, and that's an awesome movie. I would recommend everyone seeing that. It's really cool fantasy, martial arts type of film. I really recommend that. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, it's nice to know that the theater industry is going to possibly be okay. Venom 2 got pushed up a few weeks, which is a good sign. But yeah, I mean, October's looking stacked for movies. I'm really looking forward to October. Because again, you get Venom, you get No Time to Die with the new James Bond film. We also get Halloween 2, which looks awesome. And Dune. So October's gonna be stacked. So hopefully the theater industry can kind of rejuvenate itself over these next few months. That way we can get No Way Home in December, which is just the film I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, that's really it for news. Let's just go on to our Rick and Morty segment, and that should be it. All right, so with Rick and Morty, we finally, after a couple week hiatus, it was a little bit of a wait, but it did not disappoint. Leading up to the finale, though, the 2-part finale, we were getting these live action little teaser things with Christopher Lloyd, and then the one, I can't remember his name, but he's the one child actor from the It movies. But yeah, it looks really cool. I'm curious what they're going to be doing with that. I don't think it's teasing a movie or a limited time like TV movie or anything like that, but that'd be awesome to see. I'd love to see Christopher Lloyd being Rick in a full-length thing. Because of course, the Rick character is obviously inspired by his Doc Emmett Brown from Back to the Future. Of course, who else would you get to play him, right? It's perfect casting. But who knows? They might make a movie. I would really look forward to that. But we've gotten a few of these these little teaser things, and it's really cool to see Rick and Morty in live action. But let's just go on to the finale. So the first part of the finale, I didn't like as much as the second part, but I still thought it was a pretty solid episode. I liked how Morty's doing his own thing with the portal gun, and then he realizes that Rick marked fluid level for the how you can even do these or get through these portals. But he mixes it with Mountain Dew or this lime soda thing, and he accidentally gets some of it on his hand, and he makes a little portal on his hand, and then he starts talking to this other this crazy guy who's in literally a psych ward, who has one of these little portal things on his thigh. So they come these portal boys or portal bros or something. It was one of those. But that was a really cool dynamic. They both are out for Rick because Rick pissed off Morty, or Morty pissed off Rick by obviously using the portal gun without his permission. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna spin this wheel, and anything it lands on is gonna be my new partner. And so he gets 2 crows, and it becomes a whole shtick being how 2 crows can be better partners than Morty. But we get to the end of the episode, and it seems like it's going to be the end of Rick and Morty, and here comes Rick and 2 crows. It was a solid episode. It had some good jokes, good story themes. Morty just misses being with Rick, where you really feel that, and Rick's like, listen, I'm not mad at you, but I just think it's time to split ways for now. But that leads us into the second part, where it starts off as being the Rick and the 2 crows show, right, instead of Rick and Morty. And it starts off as this cool Samurai Jack type of intro where Rick is just this badass crow man with the 2 crows as his sidekicks. And then eventually you get to a point where Morty meets up with this Rick saying yeah man, you've been on a bunch of adventures. And so Morty looks like he's 40 years old and trying to guilt Rick, being yeah, Jerry has cancer, everything's kind of bad on our end, but I think you should come back. So he kind of guilts Rick into coming back, and the 2 crows kind of leaves Rick to be with this scarecrow guy. So he's like, all right, well, screw you. So he goes back, and then obviously everyone's the same age back at home, where Morty honestly just took he got some substance from the Citadel to make him look older. So now Rick's All right, well, this became a Citadel episode fast. It was awesome because I was always wanting another Citadel episode since the last one, which is probably my favorite episode of the whole show, where obviously Evil Morty becomes president. We've always needed, and that was 2 seasons ago, right? And that, we've always needed some sort of closure to that arc, and we finally got it. So this episode became really, really cool where, one, they're able to de-age Morty, but then they go to meet up with President Morty, which we know is Evil Morty. And he basically is able to show Morty that we're all just a cog in his plan. Rick reveals his whole backstory to Morty, showing how he has a very traumatic life where obviously his Beth died, so he keeps going to different realities to get new Beths or new Mortys, and they keep making Mortys and having different Beths and Jerrys mating so Mortys can keep happening. So because Morty's his perfect partner. Right? But Evil Morty just wants to cut that off. So the end of the episode is Evil Morty just destroying the Citadel and then going through a 2001: A Space Odyssey type rift where he's going to he's destroying that multiverse, and he gets to a point where he gets to the end of that road and he has his own portal gun that's yellow instead of green, and he shoots it open and then he goes through it. And that's the end of the episode. And that really that's really it for the whole season finale. But it was a good one. For sure. But I have no idea where they're going to be going from here. Honestly, I could see them doing a whole Morty and Rick show where Rick becomes the sidekick to the new Morty, the President Morty. But obviously, are Rick and Morty still on the Citadel? Because they were able to save somewhat of the Citadel. But who knows? Obviously, the Evil Morty story is not done. There's definitely going to be some consequences from this whole episode. But yeah, that's really it. Of course, at the end of the episode, or at end of the credits, we got a little Mr. Poopy Butthole cameo at the end. Love that character. Obviously, there wasn't too much to it, but it was just a nice little thing to see. So here on MCube, we're going to be doing a new grading system, and I'm going to give this an MCube grade of a 4.5 out of 5. So really good, really enjoyed it. I don't think it was a perfect episode or perfect arc, but I did like seeing a closure to that Citadel arc, but there's still more with Evil Morty left. So I look forward to where they go from here. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this review. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Next week, we're going to possibly, since there's no new, series coming out right now, unless Last Man comes out this week, I'm not too sure on the release date of it. I may do the first episode review. I think in next week's episode, I'm also going to do a little pitch for what I think Star Wars should do with what they're kind of doing with what if for Marvel. I think they should do a what if for Star Wars, because I think I'd pitch a few episode ideas that I think could be really interesting. I think Disney Plus should get on that, especially if What If is a huge success, which I think it is so far. I think people are really enjoying it. I've been enjoying it. Obviously, we gotta see how Star Wars Visions does, because they're probably gonna want to continue in a new type of animated show landscape that's not the full Dave Filoni animated series, like Rebels or Clone Wars or Bad Batch, right? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to go like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.